Hello and welcome to a update video on my channel. This update video is on the 19th of June 2017, and as always I will start with talking about my currently running series, and then I will talk about upcoming projects. Yeah, so let's start with the running series. Yeah, as you may or may not know, I'm still running a Hearthstone series of the Tavern Brawl, so it's a once a week thing, which I'm currently still plan on continuing, even though I don't play any Hearthstone aside from that Tavern Brawl once a week for that video. And yeah, as the game currently is not very it doesn't motivate me to play it, so and there's no interesting stuff to try out. I did, after the release of Ungoro, play quite a few interesting decks, at least for me, which were non-net decks. But in the end, it wasn't motivating enough to keep on playing that game. So I recently started to pick up a different game, which I will talk about in the future project part of this video. So currently there are no plans in changing the weekly Tavern Brawl video of Hearthstone, so that will continue. Obviously, I can't promise that I will do it indefinitely, but I will try to do those Hearthstone vids as long as I'm motivated to do at least the Tavern Brawl stuff. And yeah, okay, let's move on to the next currently running series, and that would be Mass Effect Andromeda, my first playthrough on normal difficulty. That series is going to end soonish. So yeah, a little. Well, I would like to to do a little fazit video on that, but I think I did that when I recorded as a series, and yeah, overall I find the game lacking, and I would go so far and say it was a disappointment. And yeah, that does have some implications for his future planned series, which I will talk about in the next segment. But yeah, um, basically all episodes of the Andromeda first playthrough series are uploaded and will continue to be released every day. Well, until it's finished. And yeah, that's about that. It's quite sad for me only to have two running series currently, but well, there aren't any games so far. I'm actively playing at the what would you say, at the amount that would be enough to make a video about it or something like that. So yeah. Um, yeah, okay, that's about Andromeda. It will, I think. Let me check that quickly. I have forgotten to write it down, but there shouldn't be that much episodes left. Playlists. So we are currently at the time of this video at episode 71. And where is it? Ah, where is that playlist? What the fuck? That's curious. 1 second. That was unplanned, of course. Not having written that down, the episode count of that series. Ah. Sure, that's interesting. I think it was about 100 and either 95 or 105-ish episodes. It was not that much. I think it was a little bit more than Mass Effect 1 and a little bit uh, less than Mass Effect 2 or 3. So, but the reason for that is I did some very long videos in the first playthrough because I didn't want to, well, cut the story at some points when I didn't know how far it goes on and what happens next and stuff like that. So there are some vids that go above 1 hour. Yeah, which wasn't planned in the beginning, but I got into the game, and well, at times I didn't well register that the episode normally would be over, but yeah. Stuff like that happens, even if the game is a disappointment, or was a disappointment, I should say. Side 6. Yeah, just a second. I should have the count. Okay, insanity. 111. Okay, well, a little bit more than I remembered because it's been for me it's been 2 months since I finished recording that series. So forgive me if I don't remember that anymore because well, as I said, that game was for me at least a disappointment and yeah, I try to forget about it. Uh, Not actively, but subconsciously, I think. And yeah, so we are currently at 81. That means there are at least 1 month more episodes of Andromeda, um, which in the end is not that much. If I think about how long it takes for me to record a full series and to release it then. Yeah. So I'm in a kind of panic, which brings me to the Plan series. First, before I played Mass Effect Andromeda, my plan was, of course, to play the game on the highest difficulty, like I did in the other 3 Mass Effect games, and then released a series of it. And that was also the plan for Andromeda. But with the game being so disappointing to me, I haven't got the motivation to really do that. I have begun to record Insanity right after I finished the normal playthrough, but I'm currently stuck at episode, I think, 20? 21? Ish on the Insanity playthrough, and it's been 2 months since I played the game the last time, episode 24. Okay, and yeah, I wouldn't want to release the Insanity series before I have recorded everything, so um, getting myself motivated to record the Insanity playthrough within 1 month. And since the normal playthrough was around 85 hours, 90 hours, I think, I bet the Insanity playthrough will take a bit, well, not a bit, but a good portion longer because it's harder. Enemies are not as easy to kill, and I guess I will die more often. But I know where to go and do stuff. That's a big I guess time saver, but still there's the fact that higher difficulty is of course makes things slower because it's enemies have bigger HP, enemies react differently. For example, on the higher difficulty you will get flanked more often by opponents than on lower difficulties, which can lead to more death or harder fights. And yeah, I can give insight. I'm currently on that 24 episode recording. I was still on EOS and did I the main quest? I don't really remember. I think I did what's the phase? I did the monolith and the vault. I think I cleared the vault, and that's it. And the reason for being that there are so many episodes already and I actually haven't done anything in the game is because I tried really hard to get the episodes shorter than in the first playthrough, because I think having gameplay widths above 20 minutes is way too long, especially for a story-driven game, which can be very tedious and boring at a time to watch. So I try to get close to 20 minutes, sometimes 1-2 minutes below, sometimes 1-2 minutes above. So yeah. Oh fuck. And yeah, I'm currently not very motivated to continue the game because of, well, how the game is, of the very nature of the game. Come on. And yeah, I plan on doing that, but I have currently no save date to say that then and then I will have that series completed and then it will be released, even though it was my plan in the beginning. Yeah, which annoys me a little bit because I never would have guessed that the game would what's the word, uh, would bring out such an disdain is maybe is too strong of a word in this case, but I don't really want to play this game, I must say. But on the other hand, I still want to make this series, which I did for the other three Mass Effect games. I want to complete it. I want to basically fight my inner self in doing that and doing something. Convince yourself to do something that you don't really enjoy is can be quite hard at times. So yeah, I don't know when the series will happen. So I hope I can bring myself to it to record it within the time that Mass Effect Andromeda first playthrough runs out. I hope it. If not, then I don't have actually a series planned which takes over after the Andromeda first playthrough is finished or completed. So I'm a bit in a predicament there, since I also don't have the funds currently to get a new game to play. So that's another problem for me to get a new series. And yeah, but that doesn't mean I stop making videos, because I have a few things lined up which I did on the side. And the first project which I probably use as filler is Hack Infection. PC player may not, a gamer may not know this game, but this is basically a PlayStation 2 JRPG, and I'm a big fan of the game series of .hack. So yeah, and what's so special about? Well, there's nothing special about this game aside from me enjoying the game and the anime series, but let's get into the game or the game mechanic a little bit. The game is basically divided in root towns, which are basically neutral cities where you have your NPCs and vendors and stuff like that. And then you have the fields on which you can fight opponents. And yeah, those fields are most of the time, what's the word? Uh, Not spliced, split into parts, in an overworld part and in a dungeon part. And to get to those areas where you can basically fight enemies, you need to use a gate. And at the gate, you have basically something like a word combination lock, or you have basically three words which you can combine, and those generate basically a field. And every word has a different what's the word, effect on the field that is created. So uh, basically you can manipulate the field you generate with the words you choose. And the twist on that thing is I did a little bit of math, which you should do once in a while to keep your brain from rusting. Is this game from, I think it was from 2002, has a whopping number of 22,700 and a few more field combinations, which is a shit ton. So for that hack infection project of mine is that I will basically play the main story or the story mode, and after that I will try to play as much of the fields that are in the game. And at the time of this recording, I think I'm at episode 160 recorded, which translates in 152 different fields visited. The overall project for that was intentionally to visit all 22,700 and XX fields, but I think I don't need to state the obvious. Visiting 22,000 fields would take quite some time, and I did some calculations there as well. I created a spreadsheet which used the average time of me clearing those 152 fields, and it spat out in the end that it would take at least, well, if I play that game 3 hours a day, the earliest I would have the game. Well, it's not the earliest. If I play the game 3 hours each day and record 3 hours each day, it would take about 9 years to clear that game, to visit all 22k fields, which is a very, very, what's the word? Shit, I don't remember the word. Well, it's a very big project, let's put it that way. And I did some other calculations. If I had nothing else to do in my life aside from playing that game, and would record 16 hours a day of that game, the earliest I would be finished would be 2019, which to me is totally crazy if you think about it. But I'm still on planning to continue that project, even though I'm currently play that game maybe once or twice a week, if at all. So it will basically be an open-end project or an on and off project, however you want to call it. And it will most likely be a filler project for times, for example, now when Mass Effect Andromeda will run out. So I have something else I can show until I I have anything else to show. Yeah. So that's about that hack project, which is it makes me speechless each time I think about it, because at some point someone need to have to program all that shit. Even though I think most of the 22,700 XX are randomly generated at some or were randomly generated, but there are still a handful of fields that were made by hand because they were story related and have some certain properties. But still, creating such a thing that would take so much time is amazing to me. If you see games nowadays, you play 20 hours, 30 hours, and then you are gone done with the game. We have seen everything, we have done everything, but that game, on the other hand, has so much to do or so many fields to visit. Well, given they are all samey in the end because there are not many there's not a great diversity there, but still having that big amount of a number of levels you basically could visit is mind-boggling to me. Since if I remember correctly, for the main story, I think it's not even 20 fields you need to visit. So what? Why are they? Why are there 22,700 and a few more fields in this game if you only need to visit about 20 for the story? So that's one of the questions which motivated me to start that project and hopefully continue it. And and I'm basically more motivated to do that grindy project than play Mass Effect on insanity difficulty, which to me is it's telling it's a telling thing, I guess. So yeah, that's about that. And yeah, as you can see in the visual representation of this video, I'm currently also playing Dark Souls 1, which is a series I'm currently recording, but there is no ETA when I will release that series because, well, as you probably heard or not heard, this is a very, very difficult game, and I'm currently at the point of this recording, at the point where I basically need to get three big or four big souls to get access to the last boss. So there are theoretically not there's theoretically not much to do, but the stuff I need to do is extremely hard compared to the stuff I did before, and I can't seem to what's the word I can't make any estimation how long this stuff will take for me to play through and to record. So I can't make any predictions when I will release Dark Souls 1, but it is a series that will come at some point. I hope it will come this year, but yeah, I don't know. I hope it will, but I don't know. I actually don't know. Because, as you can see, I'm currently grinding souls because I'm at a point in the game where, I need better equipment, and to grind souls is very, 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 very a very slow process. I've read about a ring that gives you 20% more souls, but at this point in time, I haven't visited that area yet, and I don't want to because that area has a special property which I need to counter, and I don't have that item to counter that. So yeah. Ah, come on. Yeah, and until well, I can say I've finished the game soonish. I won't release it. And then there's also the fact there are DLCs, which I don't even have checked where to start them and what to do and how long they will take. So there's that as well. So yeah, it is a series that is in production, so to speak, but currently I have no ETA when I will be able to release it. So I hope there will be at least a few people that would like to see it and can wait, even though this game is quite old and there are a shit ton of people who let's play this game already. And keep in mind, the Dark Souls, what's the word? Community is quite a toxic one. So if you hope to see some MLG Pro gameplay, you won't see that in my series because this is as the Andromeda playthrough, the first time of me playing this game, and yeah, it will be that way. At the point of this recording, I'm currently at, I don't know how much, 111 episodes in. I have around 170 deaths, and yeah, I'm, I guess, halfway through the game, I would say. And yeah, I'm still struggling at basic things like parrying and riposting and bosses that are supposed to be easy. I have big troubles with, so yeah. It will be a game that will take quite a amount of time, especially since I'm currently grinding, or I'm in the progress to grinding 19 level, of which I have, I think, only 18, 19? No, 19. I wanted to grind 19 level, of which I have done 8, I think. So there are quite a few more levels I need to gain before I will resume to recording the game because I need those souls to use a weapon which I accidentally upgraded into a state to which I can't use it because my stats are too low. So yeah, that's something that happened during the game because the game doesn't. Well, that was my fault. Truth to be told, but there are many cases in the game where you aren't told stuff which are basic things in the game which they should tell you and which makes the game well harder and I guess more of a pain in the ass because you need to figure shit out and if you don't know it you don't well you don't know it and you will miss stuff. Oh, he didn't die. And yeah, so yeah, keep an eye for that series, but not soonish, I guess. Yeah. So okay, let's move on to the next thing. So in the beginning, or when I talked about Hearthstone, I said I'm currently playing a different game as well, which would be Heroes of the Storm. So I basically got back into Heroes of the Storm. I'm just a casual player, so there's no MLG gameplay there as well, and I'm only solo queuing the what's the face quick game mode, so which is basically a group of random four people against a group of random four people. And yeah, I'm currently grinding my favorite character, Nova, which is hated by the community, I guess, because no one lets me play that one in the Hero League, which is a little bit annoying for me, and that's the main reason why I only play a quick match, because people don't want to let me play the character I'm most familiar with. And at this point in time, I think I have Nova at level 60 out of, I think it's open end. So, yeah. The next highest character is at level 11, I think. That would be Esmodan and Sylvanas. So, there's a big level discrepancy. and obviously um, a high skill difference between all those heroes, since I played, I think, 450 games with Nova and below 80 with those two heroes on level 11. But to cut this babbling short, or shorter, I'm currently thinking on, not on, about doing maybe a few vids about me and playing with Nova in the quick match mode, whilst grinding the levels. The main reason behind that is because Blizzard put in some, well, some rewards, you could say, to higher level stuff, and that those are towns, which basically is to annoy your opponents after you killed them, basically. Well, as the word says, you town your opponent after you kill him with a special, well, I don't know, phrase or something like that. And those are basically, what's the word? Gated behind certain level caps. I think it was 50, 75, and 100. And so that's my current grind in Heroes of the Storm, which is seemingly the main motivation I play games nowadays. It seems I'm grinding everywhere. I'm grinding in HOTS, I'm grinding in Dark Souls, I'm grinding everywhere, which is kind of strange. One would think you would play games to, well, for enjoyment, to waste time, to see new worlds and stuff like that. But currently, it's only grinding for me as well. On the side, I'm now and then play a little bit WoW, grind a little bit gold to basically make money, which is a quite a nice thing. You can buy in World of Warcraft tokens, which you can either use for more playtime, or you can load up your Battle.net account with 13 euros. I think it's 15 US dollars in the, well, US obviously. And you use basically, you can use that money for all other Blizzard games, and you can buy Blizzard games with that money. Or you can use it in games like Hearthstone to buy packs, Heroes of the Storm to buy stuff, or to buy Destiny 2 when it comes out on the Blizzard shebang. Well, you can use it for buying Overwatch or StarCraft or whatever you want. Yeah, to use that money on. Sadly, you can't bring it somewhere else, so you can't transfer it to your bank account or something like that. That would be awesome, but that sadly is not possible. So I once in a while play a little bit WoW to grind money for me being able to grind more money, and then in the end basically play Blizzard games for free in the end, which is another thing I do. But that's, I don't know why I even got to that. Yes, I was talking about my current motivation of playing games, because it's back in the day. It's been quite some time since grinding was this enjoyable, I should say. Because, for example, the hack series is basically an entire grind fest. And the last time I played that heavily and grinded shit, I think it was when I actively played Diablo 2. And yeah, and that was extreme. I played this game even when World of Warcraft was out at 2 years, I think, and I grinded the shit out of this game, because, well, you need to do grinding in that game to level up after a certain point. So yeah, I don't know why I still enjoy doing stuff like that, which is as repetitive and boring stuff, since in my job I don't enjoy doing the same shit again and again and again and again and again. So I don't understand why I like it in games. So that's a big mystery for me, which I, well, guess need to figure out at some point, because I think it takes from me enjoying new games, since I only play, well, I don't know, maybe 4 games in a year, and that's it. And that's not really much, if you look at how many games people nowadays play, or how much games people nowadays play. And well, that's also well, we can get around here to the beginning of the second part of the video, why I don't have currently any plans for different series, because I actually don't have any games I would like to showcase. Is that a word? Yeah. Um, there currently aren't any games that I would like to play and even make a series out of it, which to me is another thing that I don't really understand, because I really enjoy gaming, but in the recent years it happened that I enjoy less and less games, and I find myself going back to the same games again and again, which is the reason why I did go back to World of Warcraft at some point, which is the reason why I again started to play HOTS a little bit, and yeah, in the end, I haven't played a new game aside from Andromeda in. Oh boy, I think the last new game I played was Mass Effect 3 before Mass Effect Andromeda, or was Bioshock Infinite before that. I don't know, but playing new games is not a thing, since I don't know, and that's something which is a little bit sad, you could say. And I still need to figure out why that is. Well, one obvious point is I don't have the money to buy new games every now and then, and that's also the reason why I don't have any consoles. Why I didn't bought any consoles after the Wii U, because well, since then my financial world didn't was, well, what's the word? My funds weren't that uh, uh, what's the word, for fucking sake? I haven't that much funds to waste, basically, to buy a console or to buy a game every month or two. So yeah, and a little fear, or a small fear. Well, there is the fear in me that at some point I don't have anything that I could made videos out of, or over made videos over a game, about a game, and at that point, well, that would be quite scary for me, because I really enjoy making vids on the tubes, and I I always think of doing different kinds of videos, but it's it's not easy to, well, it is easy to branch out in different kinds of videos, but doing certain types of videos, it's something that needs to be fun. You need to be getting into it, and there are so much kinds of vids on the tubes, which I personally don't even enjoy and don't understand why are there. For example, those YouTube drama bullshit. That's something I, at this point in time, would never be able to do myself, because I find them more, well, a waste of a time would be maybe too strong of a word, but I don't enjoy them, I don't understand them, and I certainly don't want my time with watching those, because it's basically the same as watching stars and uh, all that shit you get here from musicians or movie stars or any kind of celebrity, which I also don't enjoy, and I think it's a waste of time, but that's my personal opinion. You don't need to be offended by that. Well, offense is taken, not given, so suck it up, I guess. Yeah, so that's not something I enjoy, so you won't see me to make videos about that stuff. And yeah, so that would be a lucrative if I was all about the monies. That would be something to do, but I'm certainly not. To me, that would be like selling my soul to the devil. It's another extreme way to say it, but I don't want to do stuff like that. Then there would be, which is also very popular in, or got even more popular in the recent times, is to make political vids about all kinds of stuff, social stuff, well, political stuff, of course, and that's not something I enjoy, nor I have the knowledge about. And that's one of the main reasons I don't branch out in different kinds of types of videos, because I like to have some kind of knowledge or experience in the matter I'm making vids about. And I'm, for example, a gamer for nearly 25, 26 years now, and that's something I can talk about and maybe give my biased opinion about it, because, well, it's subjective, of course, because it's my opinion, which is based on my past experiences and stuff like that, which obviously is different from yours. And still, that's something I could talk about, but I'm not so much into politics or social issues like the extremist stuff of the right or left wing politics, or stuff like the third wave feminism or stuff like that. I'm not into. I don't have the knowledge or a high amount of knowledge to make videos about that would I, for one, inform people or give people some insight into that stuff, or, well, share my opinion on that stuff. Um, I think it would not be right to talk smack about some stuff if you don't really know what you're talking about, even though many YouTubers don't care about that stuff and basically threw out their unfiltered thoughts about stuff that uh, should be given some more what's the word, some time to think about, some background knowledge and stuff like that. So that's, I would like to do some stuff like that, but on the other hand, it how do I explain that? You can't simply well, you could take a topic and babble about it, but um, I would in the end get what's the word? I wouldn't be very proud, or how, I'm missing the words. That's one another point why I wouldn't do the stuff like that, because that's something you need to articulate yourself quite well. And yeah, I wouldn't be so sure of the wits I make, because I'm just one little blip in the big pond, and my opinion certainly is not a mainstream opinion on those matters I've previously uh, told, i.e., political stuff or the feminist stuff. Um, so basically, I could ruin my YouTube channel with stuff like that. That's another reason, since nowadays people get offended by opinions of other people's, which is something I don't really can. Well, I can understand it. It's based in ignorance and unwillingness to learn or to be tolerant of other things. But um, I can't fathom why people would not try to understand the opposition or trying to shut down the opposition. And that's also one of the reasons why I don't like to talk about politics or the social uh, problems we have or we should talk about, because nowadays if you say something someone doesn't like, you can get fucked. There are people out there who DMCA vids of other people's because they don't like their opinions. And that to me as a YouTuber is a big no-no and a too big of a risk to bet my basically my gaming channel on that. I could make a different channel for stuff like that, but still getting a channel basically closed because you have a different opinion and than others, and those people get offended by it, and which is so mind-boggling. And yeah, it it wouldn't be worth the effort in my eyes to produce maybe a video that takes you 20 hours of research, 10 hours of production, and then have that video taken down because someone is a pussy and can take a different opinion and accept it as it is, and then destroys basically your 30 or 40 hours of work. I couldn't do that. To me, nah. I I would I would love to do it, but as I said, not in the current environment that there is on the tubes or on the internet in general, where you can get crucified for having a different opinion or saying stuff as a joke and people get offended. Best what's the word? Best example for that would be the Count Dankula drama. For those who don't know it, that was basically a YouTuber who was into politics and social issues, and doing vids that are somewhat sarcastic or from time to time even comedic. Um, or cynic, and he made a vid about the dog of his girlfriend, which was a joke. He said that it's a joke, but people got offended by the vid itself because, well, to some it might be offensive, but still he got what's the word? Uh, a court he got called to court over a video which was obviously if you saw that vid and saw all his, or some of his other vids, you know it was a joke, but people took offense to it and then basically pulled him to court over a vid, which to me is totally crazy. And yeah, and it's one of the big examples which is unbelievable that stuff like that can happen. And it's one of the reasons why I don't want to do certain vids, even though I love to do stuff like that, because I'm a person who does stuff like that, thinking about humanity and problems humanity has, social issues, political issues, not so much, since I find it rather boring, but in general, like philosophers, how is that pronounced in English? I don't know. Did it in the past, thought about stuff, I like doing that as well, and share those thoughts as well, and get opinion about other people's opinion about my thoughts, where my thoughts maybe are wrong or should be improved in a way. And that's is the main reason I'd like to talk to people about issues and then improve my or their view on things and gain new knowledge and stuff. But in the current environment in the internet and on YouTube, is it's more resembling Orwell's 1985, where it is a crime to think certain things and say certain things, and seeing that happening is quite scary. And yeah, well, it is a reason for me not to doing those vids, because I'm scared about losing my channel, of course, and um, basically having what's another big thing, to dox people you have a different opinion than yours, and then fuck their shit up, getting swatted and stuff like that. That's all stuff that is quite scary. So I don't want to dip in waters which could basically end in stuff like that. Me getting doxed or getting swatted or stuff like that. That's not something I intend to get people the chance to do that or get them the motivation to do that. Well, since the main reason for my gaming channel is to show them games I enjoy, show them some hidden things or fun stuff, and to make life better, not worse for people. So yeah, to entertain basically. For some people, gaming is not entertaining. They want to see those political or socio ideological stuff or drama stuff and shit like that. Um, yeah, and it's sad that I can't, or I'm too scared to do stuff like that, because the more variety you have, the better in this case. Because I say it this way because um, that's another thing that is overused in recent times, that you need to have diversity in all and everything, and they do it too much. It's overdone, diversity, to some points that stuff gets fucked up. People are hired because of diversity and not of ability. Stuff like that happens, and it shouldn't, because it's not right. In the end, companies will lose out on stuff. Will have um, well, there will be errors be made. The best example for that is in gaming, the game Mass Effect Andromeda, which did have, many people may not know that, but um, or many is maybe not the wrong word. Some of the peoples that worked on Mass Effect Andromeda were hired because of diversity, and some of the content in Andromeda was made because of diversity, which is not apparent to anyone, obviously. But if you put stuff in just for the sake of diversity, um, it doesn't feel right. And that was one of the reasons why, in my opinion, the Andromeda game is the worst of the Mass Effect games. And yeah, that's another thing where the political scene has fucked up stuff that shouldn't even been happening. The diversity discussion in politics or in social areas shouldn't be transcend into gaming, for example. Games should be something the developer envisions. When he envisions he wants something with diversity, well, so be it. But Mass Effect Andromeda itself, the Mass Effect universe itself was diverse enough, but to put the diversity agenda into the game and into the hiring of the people that are working on that project is too much, in my opinion. You shouldn't do that. And well, we have seen what happened to that game. At the moment, it's not even sure if they will bring out a DLC for the game because of how bad it was received by the community. And yeah, so much rambling going on, unbelievable. And that was not planned. I'm sorry about that. I actually only wanted to do a little bit of, well, tell you about what's happening, what's going on with the channel, and well, I guess I got a little bit into a rant, but it's okay, I think, now and then to talk about stuff that is on your mind. It helps to digest certain things that happen in your life or in your surroundings, in your environment, social or not, and yeah. Yeah, where I'm going with this, well, I guess that was some kind of conclusion of all this rambling there, to get some stuff off my chest, I guess, and yeah, let me end this video with this fight, and then yeah, you can go back and enjoy your life again and don't be bored by my ramblings. Okay, come on, last one. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Hey! Okay, and with that we are done. I thank you for watching my information video and for my ramblings, and until next time, have a good one and goodbye!